Welcome back to Kindness Stories, where every tale touches your heart, teaches a lesson, and reminds us that no act of kindness or courage ever goes unnoticed. If you believe in standing up for yourself and others, if you love dramatic twists, justice, and real-life heroism, you're in the right place. Let's dive into today's story. Amira was the kind of girl who liked to stay invisible. She kept her head low, her earbuds in, and her smile tucked away behind quiet nods. High school had never been easy for her, transferring midway through. The semester after her family moved across the country was hard enough. But being the new girl at a school full of cliques, gossip, and silent stares was like walking into a lion's den. With a backpack full of raw meat, the whispers started. On day one, she could feel the eyes on her. Some people whispered because she was too quiet. Others whispered because she wore a hijab, some because of her accent. It didn't matter what the reason was. Amira felt like an outsider from the moment she walked through those heavy metal doors. But Amira had one goal: survive high school with minimal drama. That goal, however, didn't sit well with certain people. Three girls ruled the school's hallways like it was their personal runway. Brittany, Cassie, and Jade. The trio had everything: money, social media fame, influence, and a cruel sense of humor. Their eyes locked on Amira by the second week. Not because Amira did anything wrong, but because bullies don't need a reason. They just need a target. It started small: snickers when she passed by, a bump in the hallway that felt too deliberate, sticky notes left on her locker with ridiculous scribbles like "go back to wherever you came from" or "you don't belong here." Amira would quietly peel them off, never showing emotion, never flinching. But when kindness is your shield, people often mistake it for weakness. One Thursday afternoon, everything changed. Amira had stayed behind after gym class, waiting for the hallway to clear. Her locker was in a quiet corner of the building, right near the back bathrooms that were rarely used. She preferred it that way. She liked silence, but silence, that day, became dangerous. As she closed her locker and turned to leave, she was suddenly shoved hard. Her back hit the cold metal with a clang, and before she could react, Brittany, Cassie, and Jade cornered her. Oops. Cassie smirked. "Didn't see you there. Silent mouse." Jade circled around like a predator. "We were wondering what's under that scarf, Amira. Don't you think it's time we all found out?" Amira's heart pounded. "Leave me alone." But Brittany already had her phone out. "Relax, we're just having fun. One little haircut won't hurt." Before she could scream, Jade grabbed her wrists. Cassie reached for her hijab. Amira struggled, but she was outnumbered. They dragged her into the bathroom. The door slammed shut, and the world outside became oblivious to the horror inside. One snip, another. She could hear the blades. She could feel the cold air hit her. Neck strands fell to the floor. But something inside her snapped. All her quietness, all her patience, all her efforts to blend, and they erupted in that moment. With a sudden burst of strength, Amira broke free. Her elbow slammed into Jade's ribs, sending her stumbling back against the stall. Cassie reached for her again, but Amira ducked, grabbed her arm, and twisted it hard enough to make her scream. Then Brittany stepped forward, phone still recording, laughing. "Oh, now you're angry. Good. Show the world how psycho you are." But Amira didn't care anymore. She charged at Brittany, knocking the phone out of her hand. It shattered against the sink. Then Amira shoved her so hard that Brittany's back slammed into the marble counter. She groaned, slipping to the floor. Breathing heavily. Amira stood there, her hair uneven, her scarf torn, but her eyes fierce. They didn't expect her to fight back, and now none of them knew what to do. Outside the bathroom, footsteps echoed. A janitor, alerted by the crash of the phone, opened the door and gasped. At the scene, Principal Harris was called in. So were the police. That afternoon, the video partly recorded by Brittany leaked. Not the part where they were cutting Amira's hair, but the part where she was defending herself. It went viral. At first, the comments were brutal. She's aggressive. Why is she attacking them? But then a girl named Leela, who had witnessed part of it from outside the hallway, came forward. She told the truth, showed her own phone footage of the girls dragging Amira into the bathroom. Then others began speaking out too. Amira wasn't the only target. Brittany and her crew had been bullying students for years. Some were scared to talk, some transferred out, others just suffered in silence. Asterisk by the next morning, the narrative had changed. Asterisk hashtag stand with AMIRA started trending. Asterisk news outlets picked up the story. Activists, celebrities, even teachers began speaking out. Asterisk Amira, once invisible, became the face of resilience. Asterisk, but fame wasn't what she wanted. Asterisk all she wanted was peace. Asterisk Principal Harris suspended all 3 girls immediately. An investigation was launched. The school promised reforms, anti-bullying seminars, and mental health support systems. Asterisk Amira's story became a part of school policy reform. But for her, it wasn't about punishment, it was about protection. Asterisk in the days that followed, students she had never spoken to came to sit beside her at lunch. Some apologized, some thanked her, some just offered her silence, the same kind she had longed for. But this time, it was filled with respect. Asterisk one teacher, Ms. Quinn, a literature teacher, handed her a copy of Maya Angelou's I Know Why. The caged bird sings. Asterisk you remind me of her, she said. Asterisk Amira smiled. Asterisk she didn't need revenge. She didn't want pity. She wanted to rebuild. Asterisk so she cut the rest of her hair, even it out, wore it like armor, and when she put her hijab back on, it wasn't a hide. It was to honor her strength. Asterisk the following month, Amira stood on stage. At the school assembly, the auditorium was packed. Asterisk she didn't cry. She didn't yell. She just spoke. Asterisk I never wanted to be famous, she said. I just wanted to be left alone. But now that I have your attention, listen. Kindness isn't weakness. Silence isn't fear. But if you push someone hard enough, long enough, even the quietest person will roar. Asterisk the crowd erupted in applause. Asterisk that night, her parents held her a little tighter. Her little brother looked at her like she was a superhero. And maybe, in that moment, she was. Asterisk because standing up for yourself takes courage. But turning pain into purpose, that's true strength. Asterisk Amira went on to help establish an anti-bullying organization. In her school, she became a mentor for new students, a symbol of how one act of cruelty could turn into a movement for change. Asterisk and the girls who hurt her, they were expelled. Their social media presence vanished. Their parents issued public apologies. They faded into the background. Asterisk because kindness doesn't scream, it echoes. Asterisk in Amira's echo would be heard for years. Asterisk if you found strength in Amira's story. If it reminded you that your voice matters even when it shakes, share this video. Tell someone. Speak up. Asterisk because silence can protect you, but only until it's broken. Asterisk let Amira remind us all. Never underestimate the quiet ones. Their silence is just the calm before the storm. Asterisk.